Hey, what's up everyone? Bigfoot here, and we are on the road right now. That's right, we are traveling to Walmart, the granddaddy of all resupplies. So this video is centered around what I ate on the trail, as many of you have been asking lately, and this was something I was going to do probably maybe a few videos from now, but I thought this would be a good timing for this. So I mentioned Walmart. It is the granddaddy of all resupplies. You know, Walmart's got all the options that you possibly need. However, you're not going to be able to get to Walmart for every resupply. So I'm going to basically go through what was really constant for me and what I ate on the trail, especially the last half of the journey. My diet stayed very similar. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I craved. Really, the majority of the changes that I made was when I went through the first half of my journey, especially like the first few hundred miles. When you're looking, if you're going to be resupplying, just make sure you understand that whatever you're sending, you might not really be into that by the time you actually get to that box. So anyway, the other thing I'm going to talk about is what other hikers ate as well, because everyone is different, and really what you're looking for is you want to get foods that are high in fat, high in protein, and high in carbs. You know, a good calorie to ounce ratio is somewhere around that 120-ish calories per ounce. I can't say that I was out looking at how many calories versus the weight of it so much, but that's a good formula to go by. I'll talk about more of it when I get to Walmart here, but I hope this video is helpful. We'll go through a lot, and I hope this answers a lot of your questions. So having said that, let's get going. All right, we are here. As I said, this is the granddaddy of all resupplies. Every single time that we knew that there was going to be a Walmart into a trail town, whatever means possible it took for us to get to that Walmart, we would do. So Walmarts are just awesome to resupply it. So anyway, let's get started. These are great. They got vitamins in them. They are 80 calories per packet, and this is just something really, really good to eat on the trail. Every once in a while, I would pack out a tighter one of these. So good. Quaker chewy granola bars. Alright everyone, so this is my other guilty pleasure I have on the trail. This stuff right here. Now, this is a mammoth size Gatorade. Most of the time these would be about a third that size, so it's about a pound. This weighs, I think, 3 pounds. 3 pounds and 2 ounces. I loved Gatorade, and I always got it when I could because that's what I felt like, and that's what made me really happy. All right, here's the next thing that you'll find a lot of places on the trail, and these actually worked really, really good. This was something that was suggested to me from Bullet. What he used a lot was these Gatorade chews, and basically used these to snack on, and it worked really, really well for him. So I actually started buying these and use these to snack on. I would usually get maybe 2 packets for every day of hiking, sometimes 1, depending on kind of what they had, what was going on. I heard a lot of great things about the bars. I didn't really like the taste of the bars, so I didn't get them, but that was one thing I saw a lot of hikers get. I talked about this in my gear video, so I would bring one of these. I buy one of these liter smart water bottles, and as you can see, it only has a twist off cap. It does not have the regular smart water bottle tap. So what I do is when I would need to change my water bottles, I'd buy one of these guys, and then I would buy 2 of these. So I would use these tops. These tops work awesome. Again, these are the ones that will basically replace your syringe on your Sawyer filter. You don't need to bring, so you can flush it. But I would buy this bottle just for the top, and then the reason I buy 2 is I buy the other one so I had a top with my other bottle. Can't forget these. Spam aisle right here, and these guys were awesome. So every time I resupplied, I always tried to get at least 3 packets of these spam singles. I know you're thinking spam is just really nasty. I only like it because I'm from Minnesota. No, that's not true. This stuff tastes awesome, especially when you can add like mayo or something like that if you have some mayo and mustard packets. Or the best is roasting this on the fire. This tastes amazing on the fire. So for another great source of protein and calories, one of these packets, 210 calories, which is awesome, and 9 grams of protein, a lot of fat. So these worked out really good. So I'm going to actually get a total of 3 packets of these. Nice. The other thing that I would get was granola. I love granola, and the one that worked really good for me was this guy right here. I would get something that's got some sort of a fruit in it. This one's got strawberries and raspberries, and then this house actually has chocolate chunks in it. It was really good. So I get this, and then I would pair it with some dry milk. All right, so this is the dry milk that I prefer, the Carnation. It's the best stuff out there. I tried the Great Value, and it just didn't taste as good. So this is really the problem that you run into. If I got one of these packets, it usually wasn't enough. I like to have a little more milk in mine. If I got 2 of these, basically equals the same cost as one of these, but you're getting about another 30-40% more. So, but this is too much. But what I normally do is I buy this, I cut this in half, and then again give this to another hiker if I could. But it was cheaper than going with basically 2 packets that are or the same cost if I could share it with someone. All right, so let's kind of recap of what I got here. So for breakfast, again, I got my Pop-Tarts. This is great on the go, and what I would typically do is throw a little bit of this, maybe a third of it into, so everything would go into Ziploc bags. I'd portion everything out, but I would throw this, about a third of this into a Ziploc bag, throw some of the Carnation in there for the dry milk, add water. So that was my breakfast. For lunch, everything was pretty much done on the go. So I would be snacking on the Welch's fruit snacks along the trail. I would be eating a ton of these. I would usually have 3 or 4 of these bars a day. I had my M&Ms, and then I had my beef jerky, and then I would usually eat 1 or 2 of these a day during the course. So, and these were just great to just eat on the go as well. Now, once in a while, when I was really hungry, I would stop for lunch and actually have a tortilla, but most of the time, this is what I had for lunch. And then for my dinners consisted, I got my tortillas, and then I would put peanut butter on the tortilla, and then almost every single time when you're in town, there will be somewhere where you can get strawberry or grape packets of jelly. If there was McDonald's or a Burger King or anything that's got jelly packets, I would always get like 10 packets of jelly, and I would just throw them in there. So because that was better than buying a whole jar of jelly. I saw people do that, but that was just a waste of weight for me. So most of the time I did that. So I had peanut butter and jelly tortillas. I'd always have my nacho cheese Doritos. With that, I usually have 2 tortillas, sometimes 3 a night. And then if there was a fire, I would always cook this over the campfire. If not, I would just eat it plain. So I'd usually eat one of those a night. And then I would suck on these during the course of the day. Now, I already talked about the smart water bottles. And again, of course, we got the Gatorade. Obviously, it's a lot bigger than the size that I would get. The size I got was a third size of this. But anyway, that was really my diet that consisted on the trail. This aisle was actually a really popular aisle as well, with the different drink mixes. A lot of hikers got the Great Value drink mixes, and really would change it up during the course of their hike. What I usually drank was the Crystal Light. I actually did get these quite often, and what I do is I get maybe a packet of these in addition with my Gatorade, and then I just switch it up. I would drink a Gatorade, and then I would kind of switch to Crystal Light and drink a water, and kind of rotate that. But the lemonade was really good. I liked lemonade, and the wild strawberry and grape were my other 2 favorites, but lemonade for sure was the best. But another thing that a lot of hikers would get was the Mio. There are some Mios in here that actually have electrolytes. These ones, if I'm not mistaken, They don't have any calories, but they do provide the electrolytes. So with very little, basically very little weight, and having the flavor and having the electrolytes, it worked out really, really well. And here's some great value ones that actually have electrolytes on them. So another great option. I just didn't like the taste of them as much, so that's why I went with something else. But this is definitely something that a lot of hikers did, and it worked for a lot of hikers. So I would recommend that. Besides what I had over there, here's some other very common popular things I saw on the trail that people ate. Cliff bars were really, really popular. I ate them here and there, but I just really got sick of them, and they were too dry for me. So that's why I really went with some of the Quaker Oat bars, but this was a very popular bar. A lot of people still ate the oatmeal and just either ate it right out of the package and throw it in their mouth, which I didn't like, or they just mix it with water and just ate it cold, but I saw that quite a bit. Nutella was very, very popular. What I would do as well is sometimes I would buy both Nutella and peanut butter, and I would just mix the two. I put basically take 2 tortillas, put one with Nutella on cover the whole tortilla with Nutella, and then cover the other one with peanut butter, and slap the two together, and it was awesome. But a lot of Nutella eaters on the trail. Pepperoni worked out great. Basically, you take pepperoni and throw in string cheese or whatever cheese that you like. I like mozzarella, so I did do this, just not as often. But mix those two, throw in a tortilla, and if you wanted to, you could add something spicy like hot sauce or something like that, and that tasted really, really good. Then, of course, you got, for protein, I said that I went with the Spam a lot of the times. A lot of people, this is very, very popular, is the tuna. I like the sweet and spicy, so I did do this. I only did this for maybe 300 or 400 miles, and I kind of got sick of tuna and went to the Spam. But this is really popular, and sometimes what I do is I buy there's like Velveeta cheese packets, and I would pour the Velveeta cheese packets in the tortilla with the tuna, and it tasted really, really good if the store had it. And then for the Little Debbie's, these are 2 of the most popular Little Debbie snacks you'll see on the trail. Number 1 is Cosmic Brownies, really good. And then, of course, you got your honey buns, which you probably know about. So that was really the makeup of the nutrition that most of the hikers that were stoveless, what we ate on the trail. Now, on resupplies, most of the time you could always find honey buns and Cosmic Brownies. Couldn't always find Cliff bars, but they were pretty popular. But there was some sort of bar. The things that I struggled finding sometimes was the granola, Carnation dry milk. Usually they had some sort of dry milk, but that wasn't always there. So if that was the case, I would just probably get more Pop-Tarts usually. But usually I could always find Pop-Tarts. Didn't have a problem with finding bars like the Quaker Oat bars. Those were usually everywhere. Some sort of beef jerky I was able to find. Welch's were, pretty consistent, unless it was just like a small gas station or something like that to resupply out of. But any of the energy bars were just kind of hit or miss. And then, sometimes tortillas, I would have to get some of the smaller tortillas that had a lot less calories, so that really was dependent on where I shopped at. But if I had the choice, again, I would get these. These are the best that I found. And then again, you usually had cheese and some sort of peanut butter. Nutella was usually always a part of the, any resupply that I did. So, but these are pretty common. You can find all of this stuff in almost any Walmart or a decent sized grocery store. The ones that are suspect are when you basically are going in those little gas stations and things like that don't have a ton of supply. But sometimes I would just go to there, buy $20 worth of food to get me through to wherever I needed to go next, so I actually could do a decent resupply. All right, guys, so we're in the produce section here, and we are surrounded by all kinds of fruit. What I would do is typically when I resupply, I would get at least some sort of fruit that I pack out with me, something I would just eat during the first few hours, or maybe even snack that afternoon or that dinner. And a lot of times what I get was peaches because they were just so juicy. I was really craving anything that just had a lot of juice in it. So oranges, peaches, things like that just really hit the spot. So the weight to calorie ratio isn't great on fruit, but I tell you, it just really boosts my morale. So love this stuff, and I would definitely recommend the extra weight that you get the very first day when you're doing your supply. So there's a couple things that you can get when you're out there and you're stoveless that you don't have to get at a grocery store either, that make really great additions to your diet and your nutrition on the meal. Pizza. There'll be plenty of times where you're going to be eating pizza on the trail, in town, whatever, and there were times where I wasn't able to eat a whole entire pizza. Most of the time I ordered it when I was back in my room, and I basically would just pack out the pizza, put a few slices in a Ziploc bag, and if there was a refrigerator, I'd throw it in the refrigerator, but pizza's good for a little while, and I would eat it that first night for dinner. It was great. Alright, so my other thing is Subway. Subway is a great meal on the trail. I probably packed out a sub almost every chance that I could. I would either eat it for lunch or I'd eat it for dinner. I would always get a foot long, and they stay, intact the entire day. I probably wouldn't eat it the second day, but this was something that I used all the time. This particular Walmart actually has a Subway inside of it. I can't remember how many times I actually found that there was a Subway inside of Walmart, but if there was, I would definitely do it. But you also find Subways all over the trail, but this is another great meal option for a stoveless setup like myself that was really great on the trail. That wraps up our resupply here at Walmart. Again, this is one of the best places you can find the trail to resupply, so when there is a Walmart, that's where I would go. There's a lot of other great places on the trail that you can resupply at. Most towns have it, so hope this was helpful. If it was, again, give me a thumbs up, and as always, remember to stay tuned for my next sighting and follow Bigfoot by subscribing below. I'll be back next time. Bigfoot out.